comes out your mouth. People are
First and foremost, we're living in a very, very serious time. We know that. You know what I mean? Sometimes it sounds cliche, right? I think oftentimes we talk about, you know, we're at war, we live in a police state, and all this type stuff, and we have so many different activists, or what we call activists, folk that act like they activists. You know what I'm saying? You got so many folks who come along with the hype. They come along to sell you something. They come along to be, you know, royalty, while we being drugged through the mud, while we being destroyed mentally, physically, and spiritually. To us, we call that ancestral treason, because of the fact that you are betraying the ancestors. When you stand up in front of a room and your goal is just to be seen, then you are a problem to our race. You are a problem to our people. We are at a stage where it is entertaining to go to a lecture or to any type of teaching or whatever. Sometimes we take for granted that we can jump on the microphone and we can jump on YouTube or social media or whatever. When I was coming up, there was no social media, there was no internet props and none of that type of stuff. If you was doing work in the community, people knew you for doing work in the community. No matter where you were around the country, we know who was who and where they was at. By the time the rest of the world found out who the workers were, they had to sift through all this other garbage that came along that was shining. You understand what I'm saying? We knew each other because we knew who was doing what. Whatever field you're in, whether you're in law, whether you're in martial arts, whatever it is you do, if you're serious about what it is you do, you know who around you is doing what, right? Nowadays, you got this whole instant, quick gratification type thing. We got what we call microwave militants, right? Because they just pop up for a minute and then they done. They pop up for a minute, then they done. A lot of folks, when I deal with different people, they look at me as some type of rude asshole. And if you look at me that way, then that's cool, I don't care. Now, am I saying it like I'm just Billy Badass or something? No, I'm saying that our ancestors have suffered. Our ancestors have suffered. We got 2.5 million plus brothers and sisters locked up in the prison system right now, right? You have so many different political prisoners who've been beaten and tortured. Folks like the Sekou Dingas and the Kamal Siddiquis and so on and so forth, who have had their fingernails and toenails ripped off of their fingers and hands, being tortured. You understand what I'm saying? You have folks like the San Francisco 8 who were tortured, cattle prodded, had cattle prod stuck in their anus. You had stuck on their testicles. This is facts. You have brothers who were, when you talk about waterboarded, had to put their feet in ice water while they were getting cattle prodded. You understand what I'm saying? Beating upside the head, putting typewriter bags over their head, and just torturing them. Just torturing them. These are folks that I know. So if I come off a certain way, when I see folks just trying to entertain, then you know why. Sometimes we're misunderstood. They say, well, you hating on the new folks. I ain't hating on shit. When you're at war, you welcome comrades. And when you're at war, there are no new comrades. It's just comrades that haven't met. When you're serious about what it is we're doing, you don't take it lightly. So I don't see how we could take this lightly. I don't see how we can take our well-being lightly. We don't have the luxury to be bullshitting when it comes to this. Not if we love our children, not if we respect our ancestors, not if we respect our elders, our political prisoners, so on and so forth. Two things. Number one, I don't understand how you can have an organization that doesn't have a component of dealing with survival and preparedness. If you say that you love your people and you about your people, when a Katrina hits, or when something like Haiti and all these other places hit, Louisiana, so on and so forth, Texas, Mississippi, when these things hit, and you don't have some type of apparatus or component to assist and aid and assist with the people, then we have a problem. All the talk that we was talking don't mean nothing. If something goes down in Balagoon, myself, Tanisio, and the rest of y'all, we laid up in the same damn arena, and people looking at us like, damn, I thought y'all was about that life. Then the game changes, right? Another thing I don't understand is how you can say you love your people, or how you can say you about reparations, and one of the first fights is not in regards to political prisoners. There's no country on the planet that can go to war with anyone and talk peace without the first thing coming across being, look, we need our soldiers back. We need our soldiers back. Before we start talking about, look, you don't bomb my house, you don't do, no, look, we need, send my mother back, my brother, my cousin, so on and so forth. That's the first order operation, not no damn dollars. Not no dollars. The first order operations. If you're not dealing with a component of political prison, you ain't dealing with nothing. Listen, this is not entertainment. Right now, when you look at movement and struggle, some of these guys out there, it's like the WWE. In fact, someone asked me the other day, they said, well, what's the difference between you guys and these guys that be doing those lectures and debates? I said, well, it's like we're UFC and they're the WWE. And they come equipped with Vince McMahon and everything. Listen, I'm not going to take up much time, but I got to say this, man. We have so many people that say they don't want to get down with the organization, right? I'm tired of organizations ain't about nothing or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Here in America, in the US, we all are part of some organization by default. And what our people say, Victorious? It's us and them, right? Either you with us or you with them. Either you gonna be on the right side of history or you gonna be on the wrong side of history. The state got something for your monkey ass. The state got some decisions for you. You ain't gotta make your decisions, no problem, they got that. They got that. They building prisons and penitentiaries. In the state of Georgia alone, it's over 300 facilities. Just in the state of Georgia, prisons, jails, what do you call that? The 5 immigration centers. You know what I'm saying? Youth detention centers. I think it's like 60 of them, right? Am I wrong? You attorney? This is just in Georgia. This is in Georgia. Over 100,000 inmates just in the state of Georgia. And we out here partying and bullshitting like it's all good. You got to get on the right side of the barricades, man. There's only 2 sides. You got to be on the right side of the barricades. And anybody that stands before us that does not have a plan of action, that does not have solutions for us, then they should put the fucking microphone down. Because they don't have the right to touch that thing. One thing KRS-One said, as nutty as he is, KRS is nuttier than squirrel shit. He's one of my favorite rappers, but he is bananas. And I told him this to his face, straight up. The one thing he said, I'm not going to grab the microphone and waste my nation's time. Right? You cannot do that. You can't do it. The Garveys who came before us. You understand what I'm saying? The Malcolms. You know, all of these warriors, all these OGs who came before us, they spilled blood. They spilled blood. We don't have the luxury to just grab this just because we cute.